All right, we're down here in my storage garage that I have for my two cars, and I'm doing a video feature of my 2002 Chevrolet Camaro SS, which is a 35th anniversary limited edition package from SLP. So I'm just going to do a walk around video and show more details than what pictures would show. Both of these cars are low mile cars, and I keep them stored away. The Sky that I have is a 2009 model, last year model, just like the Camaro was the last year of the Camaro. And the Saturn Sky has just over 6,000 original miles on it. It's a 2009 red line edition, which means it got the turbocharger engine, the top of the line suspension, and this was the top option you can get for this. So this car I've shown on other videos. It is one of my pride and joys. So now that I have this other Camaro, I'm going to make a full review video of it as well. So this Camaro, obviously, as you can see, I've dreamed about having one of these since the day it came out. I was 6 years old when this car came out. And I've really wanted to get my hands on it ever since then. I've dreamed about having one. But with them being so limited, it was hard to get my hands on one, especially just the fact that they made 3,000 of these total. A lot of them had a convertible option, and then more of them would have the automatic transmission. So this one is a 6-speed with T-tops, and that was exactly what I wanted, which is very, very hard to find, anyone who knows these cars. This car, I was very lucky to run into. I bought it from an older lady. She's had sold it. She would buy the brand new Camaro at the time, whatever was the top option, best package that she liked. And she ended up, she sells them at about 10 years of owning them and buys a new one. So she recently bought the new 2018 Camaro SS, and I was able to buy this from her. She was the original owner. She bought it brand new from Chevrolet, like I said. And my goodness, it was in perfect condition. I saw this car for the first time about 6 years ago, just under 6 years ago. And when I saw it, it only had about 48,000 miles on it. So I thought, you know, with that being extremely low, I had figured and anticipated by the time she sold it that it would have somewhere around mid-50s, 60s, 1,000 miles. But when she was ready to sell it, it actually turned out to have only, still has 48, it had 48,000 miles, has 49,000 miles right now. So practically as brand new and original as you can get this car. I have looked all over the place, and I'm sure anyone who watches this video there's someone who could correct me about the mileage, but I haven't found one with less miles that has the 6-speed and T-tops. So if anyone does know of one, I'd like to have whoever sees this video share it with me so that I can see, because I think that would be awesome to find more like this. But walking around this car, it is just perfect. Everything on this car. And just like the Sky is the only car I've owned that's perfect. That doesn't have anything wrong with it. But this car also meets that criteria. It was definitely a rare find to get this car in the condition that it's in. I mean, it was garaged every day of its life, throughout its whole life. I'm going to show paperwork over here in just a minute that shows all oil changes that it had were ahead of time and properly done by GM, all done at the Chevrolet dealerships, especially the one here locally. So I can't wait to get into that paperwork, but I wanted to walk around and show some of the details of the car. Now we are in the storage garage, and it's not lit too well, but at least you can see some of this. Walk around and show, I mean, every little detail. People who know these 4th gen Camaros, you know what to look for when you're buying them, and I've had quite a few. You know, you're looking for certain little flaws that the 4th gens have, and I can tell you after owning this car for as long as I have now and driving it as much as I have, looking over every detail, cleaning it, things like that, there just aren't any flaws with this car. It really doesn't have any of those 4th gen problems. Driving it down the road, it feels brand new, which it should with the mileage that it has. It feels tight, it feels clean, it has plenty of power. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the inside here and show, which by the way, I will show this key set here I'm pretty proud of. If you look at it, it still has that factory texture. This is one of 2 sets that this car came with. See if we can get a good look at it. But keys are brand new, brand spanking new. And that's a hard thing to find with these, obviously, because they were made in 2002. So here's the interior. Let's see if I can brighten this up. Yeah, it's as bright as it'll go. Clean as a whistle. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this interior at all. There aren't any tears, cracks. And as a matter of fact, as her being a smaller lady, she didn't have, the seat didn't feel like it was worn at all. I mean, you have a lot of guys my age and my size driving these cars, and it wears out the interior over a long period of time. But I mean, the seat is perfect here. The seams, everything. It amazed me. The steering wheel doesn't have any wear on it. It feels like it's brand new. I'll go ahead and sit down in it. So here we are sitting down in the interior. You can see, like I said, everything's perfect. And one of the coolest things about this, the radio still has its sticker from the dealership. She never took that off. So that is definitely a plus. It's so hard to find them like that. I don't know of any that are like that. Everything's perfect in the car. The car starts and runs fine. If I wasn't in a closed garage, I would start it up. But all right, my last video got cut off. So while I was talking about the interior and showing some of the cleanliness of it, the features. And one of the coolest things is when you look in this center console, the 12-disc changer that this car comes with is still in its package with a serial number on it from GM. Also inside here is the cleaning cloth, the GM cloth that they gave with the vehicle when it was sold. And sunglasses too. I didn't think that sunglasses came with this car, but I guess they were, according to her, they came with this Camaro. So those are some real cool things to see. It makes me happy to see that everything is preserved like that. The glove box here, I'll show this while I'm at it. We have the SS manual here, the owner's manual booklet. And as you open it up here, it has everything. It has the SS stitch for a jacket, SS sticky notes. It has SS tire pressure gauge, as well as this card. And now I didn't know anything about this when I first saw this, but this card, if you pull it out of the holster here, it has a dyno curve and a dyno graph on the back of the car with, it tells the horsepower, the type of engine it is. So it tells how many units were produced at the top left, and a picture of the Camaro on the front. So I thought that was one of the coolest things. Of course, as a Camaro fan, to see these original things, it just makes my day. Alright, so here we are looking at the paperwork. The car came with a file, a folder full of all these different papers, so I'm going to show some of the things that it had. So the first things first is the window sticker. That's what everyone looks for collecting a car. This is the window sticker VIN matched to this Camaro, and it has all the pricing and options, the standard equipment. Then there's the vehicle price added onto, which is, if you look right here, you see the SS Performance Appearance Package, which is one thing that makes it a Camaro SS above the Z28. But then down here, you have the 35th Anniversary SLP Edition, which was a $2,500 charge beneath, which added the options up to $10,000. The total out-the-door price for this vehicle was $33,310. On the inside of the door, I'll show it in a picture. I have a picture of this, actually. I might post at the end. It has Z4C in the RPO code, and that's the identification for that 35th anniversary package. So there's the window sticker. I'll set this aside here. We have the Camaro book, which is what I used to read as a kid. It has, all the history of the Camaro, and it features the 35th anniversary Camaro. It talks about how this being the last year that they would make there's the LS1 diagram, that they would make a Camaro that was special, and they'd only make 3,000 of them. So as we go through here, I believe it's towards the back. Let's see here. There's the seats, and then of course the 35th anniversary gets that stitching in the top. It might not be, maybe it was the beginning of the book. I believe that might be the only place it was, right here. Yeah, that's where they show the 35th anniversary. And on top of that, at the bottom of the stack somewhere, there's all the SLP information. Monty Chevrolet is where this Camaro was purchased originally by the original owner, and she's kept all the paperwork from them. This is the equipment list with a markup for it being a 35th anniversary from that dealership. We have a letter addressed to the new owner, just kind of a candid, generic email. This was a check that bought the Camaro right here, a receipt. This was a GM Protection Plan brochure. Some more of that same type of thing. Survey for GM. Another letter that talked about the Camaro that he bought. This is the little tag that goes over the glove box compartment, and in some of them they put them just below the radio, so it was saved. A pouch for something, I believe it was for the second key. This is the first of many service records from wherever that place was in California, but these are the local dealership Stephen Wade records of everything that it had done to it. The only thing that's been changed in this Camaro as far as the car that's changed mechanically was the air conditioning compressor wasn't blowing cold enough, from what I was told. And so instead of having it diagnosed and different things done to it, these people took such good care of this car that they just went ahead and put a brand new air conditioning compressor and setup and lines and everything in it to make sure that it was running optimum, which just shows the owner of the car was very protective of this and did everything right to make sure it was maintained well. So skipping through all these service records. Wow, this looks like a battery change note. This is a book. Can't remember what this was. I think it was just the SS book, not the 35th or anything to do with that. Here's a booklet that came with it for the special edition 35th. That was given out with this car specifically. So has the history of the Camaro all the way up to the back of it. Should be a 35th anniversary Camaro. Yep, there it is. 2 GM consumer information tags with barcodes and the VIN of the vehicle. This is a GM roadside assistance service book. I don't know what its purpose was, but always good to have. The keychain that the Camaro had at the dealership, brand new. This was the number, and I can't figure out what that number means. That might be the number of Camaro that it is. And then I have all the SLP brochures that show everything about SLP and the options. So there it is. And just happy to have all these things. That's what makes the difference with a collector car and not, is having the paperwork to see what the car was, where its origins are, where it came from, how it's been maintained, and where it is in the present day, which I think it is in immaculate condition. So that's it for this review. I'll do many others in the future to come, but I'm going to do some out in the daylight where we'll have better picture. But overall, clean car. Couldn't be more happy with the 2 cars that I have here as collector vehicles, and hopefully they'll stay a low mile for the rest of their lives.